CPIM General Secretary Sitaram Yechury മാധ്യമങ്ങളെ കാണുന്നു തത്സമയ സംപ്രേഷണത്തിലേക്ക്.
The number reduced. Who reduced this number? So these two questions need answers on that count. Sovereign guarantee is another one. So 3 questions need answers. 4, the question of this was announced by the Prime Minister in Paris in April that a new contract is being signed. And the Defence Procurement Council meets only in May. A month before the Defence Procurement Council agrees to this new deal, that is scrapping 126 and instead buying 36 and getting the offset partner, that is a private company, that is Reliance Defence, into it. All this is announced already as a decision of the Government of India by the Prime Minister without the discussion or the approval of the Defence Procurement Council, which is the authority, constitutional authority, that has to decide on this. So it's a very clear case that the Prime Minister, having decided upon it, then the pressure on the Defence Procurement Council to endorse it. So this is highly improper. And now 285 crores is what it appears that Dassault has already paid to some non-entity, they are defunct Reliance company. And the people are now saying there is no money trail. What is this but a money trail? Why was this money paid for that company? What was the reason for that? So this needs to be investigated. Now the latest, the interview of the CEO of Dassault saying that we have chosen the offset partner, etc. Now Dassault is making a huge amount of profit by this new deal, from 670 to 1600 crores. A company CEO is making a profit like this, when what else will he do except go along with the terms of a contract which is allowing him to make this profit? So to take that at a face value and say there is nothing wrong is ridiculous, because the former president of France has said what he said, all of us have reported. And he said they had no choice but to accept this partner because that was given by India. The current president says that if what the former president says, I was not the president, Mr. Macron. He said, I was not the president then. But if he as the president says what he is saying, then it must be true. Now the presidents of France are making these sort of comments, but India's Prime Minister doesn't open his mouth. What actually transpired in these visits and these discussions and deals? Now all these questions, and there are many more, that have arisen, will arise in the course of the hearing of the case in the Supreme Court. Now all this, the CPIM's opinion is very clear. We think that these all merit a thorough inquiry and the guilty have to be identified and punished. For that it is required that a Supreme Court monitored SIT investigation must be instituted into this. This is a mega scam, and not only a scam, this is it has a direct negative impact on our security concerns and our defense preparedness. Now with 36 coming in, the shortage from the 126, 90 planes, for that shortage the Indian Air Force has asked the government that a global tender should be floated for extra 110 fighter planes. Now buying this extra 110 instead of this 126, that extra cost, who's going to bear? The country, all of us. Why? Why was that being done? Global tender has been floated. And now we would also like to know that whether the waiver given by the United States of America on the sanctions that are supposed to be imposed on us for buying oil from Iran or weapons from Russia, both of them, they have sanctions and they've imposed the sanctions on China for having bought the Russian military equipment. But for India, they're going to give the waivers. So behind this, is there another scam? We suspect there is. And that scam is these waivers were procured on the basis of the assurance by this Modi government that these 110 planes that will now be bought additionally will be bought from the United States of America. So this is the sort of mega corruption which is happening through crony capitalism. And this is something that is, that cannot go without being accountable. The guilty need to be punished. And this must be done through a Supreme Court monitored SIT investigation. That is that.